Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a conversation on blended families. I've shared before that I come from a blended family and I have my parents here, so we're going to have an interesting conversation. I can't wait for us to share our experiences so that you can learn something. So keep watching. Shoot Day is happening at Canary Hotel, and Canary Hotel has some amazing offers for you. Every Sunday, Canary Hotel has something called Paint and Chill. Now, Paint and Chill happens every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Adults pay 70,000 and children pay 50,000. Now, these are activities that you can do with your spouse to create that bonding moment. Please try them out. And this includes a welcome drink, all art materials and tools. You can take the masterpiece home, and it comes with games and karaoke as well. Now that's a way to spend time with your family. Try out Canary Hotel today. It's located on Chira Road. You won't regret it. Daddy and Mommy, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, how are you doing?
We're doing fine, thank you. Thanks for inviting us again for me.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I was with you.
Yes.
All right.
Guys, if you've not watched the Father's Day video 2 years ago, please watch it. My dad, shared about our fatherhood experience. Yeah, so go watch that. Yes. So welcome again. Mommy, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell the people who you are and what you do.
My name is Philemon Nganda. I'm a retired senior citizen. I used to work right off from university. I used to work with the non-government organizations, the likes of World Vision, Care International, SNV, and many of them.
Yeah.
But now I'm a retired senior citizen, and I'm participating in helping in many other ways, keeping me up to date with life. For example, I am associated and work on the Council for Quality Assurance Certification Mechanism, QAM, in collaboration with the promoters, NGO Forum, and Deniva. And if you are out there and you like to have your NGO or your CBO also get that certification, I would strongly recommend that you look out for Deniva and NGO and ask about QAM.
Yeah.
And you'll be helped through a series of activities that will help you get certified. That's a good thing, even in the eyes of government. But secondly, also, as part of helping many people who are needy, because of the work I did with NGO for many years, I also do a lot of networking with many individuals who want to improve their cash flow. I'm privileged to be part of an organization called Live Good in Florida, in America, and has spread out to Africa, and I happen to be one of the leaders supporting. Last night I checked, we are almost 3,000 people that I'm taking leadership and supporting them to be better and better in their financial struggles.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
So that's an amazing thing that we are doing.
Good to have you here, Dad.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Mommy.
Okay, my name's Bernardine Nganda, married to him, and happily parenting 6 grown-up children.
Yes, and grandchildren.
Been in the NGO sector, really working in the human resource management and administration, and I've recently retired from work. So I'm part of another private company that is dealing with helping people as a result of the challenges that we have seen in the sector of human resource and how people manage themselves.
Yeah.
So this company helps people to realize their potential and also prevent stress through counseling and guidance and things like that, and make themselves better, elevating them all the while to bring glory to God.
Amazing.
That's what we do.
Amazing.
And one of the tools that we use for that is the amazing game called Scrabble.
Wow. Yeah, and we've been playing Scrabble for a long time at home. Every time we go home, we're playing Scrabble, and Mommy here is always winning us. Like, you've just started and then she has 60 points. You're like, how? Like, we need to increase our vocabulary. But yeah, she's really good at it, and it's something that is doing amazing in her work. All right, that's amazing. So how long have you been married? And give us a brief about your story, because for those that do not know, Daddy, how do I say it? Yeah, Daddy is my daddy, and I lost my mom when I was young. We lost our mom, and then Daddy got married to Mommy. So it's a whole blend. So tell us more about that.
In terms of time, I may not know very well, but she knows how many years and so on. Maybe she will first give us that understanding. How many years now?
We've been married for 17 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So next January, we make 18 years.
Yes.
Okay. You are invited for the celebrations.
Please. Yeah.
So 17 years now, and January will make 18 years. It has been a good journey of learning, and we've had some interesting experience, and maybe part of it will be sharing from here.
Yeah. Okay, so just give us a brief about the journey of how you got to be together.
Okay.
Why did you get to be with Mommy?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bible clearly says that it's not good for a man to be alone. And that's in the Genesis, in the creation. When God had created all things that he created, he found out that Adam was very lonely. Now, having unfortunately lost your mom, it was therefore important to rethink, because it was a very lonely experience. First of all, you were 4, and it was tough for me. And those days, my work was taking me outside home for a long time, traveling both up country and outside the country. So it was difficult for me to keep you guys running around. You are still in primary school. So I remember I had to get a driver, a car, for someone to take you to school all the time, but I was not around. So that was very challenging. So I prayed. I said, God, I need someone to help me out in this matter. And since God is a God who hears our prayers,
A good God.
a good God and always good, he gave me an understanding that there's someone also who was very lonely somewhere. And I landed on her using a different criteria and methodology to make things happen through prayer.
Consulting.
Yes, so that's how I ended up with Bernadine. And graciously, she was also lonely, and she accepted to listen to me. And finally, she said, okay, fine, let's try it.
Yeah.
And we started.
Amazing.
Yes.
Mommy, is there anything you want to add on this story?
So on my side, I had also taken some years alone, and I wasn't really previously considering marriage, but I got to a time when, as he says, loneliness, I also prayerfully asked my God that if this is what you are blessing, please get me the right person. And there I was. He proposed. And
Yeah. Amazing.
I said yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's good. So, Daddy, like you've mentioned, you had 4 children at that time.
Yes.
Yes. And Mommy, tell us more about, the children and...
I had 2 children at that time.
Yeah.
Yes, a young boy and a young girl. They were both young, but approaching teenage.
Yes. Yeah. So now that you're coming together, remember you have children, she has children. What's going on in your mind, especially when it comes to bringing the family together? Were there any fears and concerns, especially when a man has children already? What was going on in your mind? Mommy first.
Okay. Naturally, there were some fears. Having been alone for some time, after I had lost the father of my children at that time, I didn't know how to start another relationship with children. My major fear was, will I get the right person who will love my children the way I love them or the way their father had loved them. That was my major fear. Then came the fear of having to find their children. Will they accept me or will they not accept me? Those were the two major fears I had. And
did you talk about it?
Oh, we did.
Talk about
we
it?
did. We
We
talked. He actually, if he doesn't remember, he wrote me a small note and said, "No, do I have to share this?
Yes.
Can I? Do I have the permission?"
Go ahead.
You said that I love you very much, and I will love you together with your children.
Oh.
I still have that note, and I've kept it.
Send me WhatsApp.
The guy didn't know you were romantic.
So when he added with your children, I said, "Okay, God, you've answered. I don't need anything else." This is the person.
Amazing. And Daddy, for you, were there concerns about, all the discussions that you had about having to raise other children?
I love children. In my previous marriage, we had discussed issues of children, number of children, and all that kind of stuff. Guess what? My target or my wish was to have 6 children. And then
God gave it to you.
And then we had a battle in terms of discussion and all that kind of thing. And so when she said she had 2 children, and I already had 4, those were 6. So I said, wow, this is now answered. Perfect. Now, the other issue was, how shall we manage the 6 when I'm away and running up and down? But for her, she was going to be around. Would they accept her? Same kind of concern. Because in the preliminaries, when we are discussing with you and your siblings, the issue of stepmothers came up. So I used the participatory approach of questioning and answers and all that to ensure that you participate in the decision making. So one of the questions I asked was, when some of you asked, Daddy, stepmothers are bad. How shall we survive with a stepmother we don't fully know? I said, do you have an example where some families have stepmothers, but they are good? Some of you said, yes, they are there. Okay, let's pray that this one also becomes good. And that's how we agreed to move forward. Because you had endorsed that. Let's try, because some stepmothers are good. So that was my worry. But I thank God that through the years, you call her mommy, her children also call me daddy. So the whole thing has come out perfect. Yeah.
And I remember, I think, in the discussion, maybe just to ask mommy, I don't know what happened on your end when you're telling Kemi and Asen about this new relationship, and now, you're going to get a new father. How did it go? Were there any reactions?
Yeah, there were some reactions. These 2 are different children. They were different even at that time when they were still young. One of them said, okay, who? And then I told them who the person was, and they knew the person. And said, okay, that's good. The other one asked, are you sure? So, yes, I am sure. Okay, then if that's it, then that's it. Wow. So it wasn't really a very challenging thing. But the other element that I didn't bring in is that we also had other people to talk to after the children.
Who are those people?
And those are the relatives on the side of their father.
Indeed, that must have brought another dynamic altogether. Okay, so in coming together, how did you ensure that unity was created? Because, especially mommy, you're going to be raising adolescents who you know nothing about, you've not raised, you're not sure, and the truth is, adolescents had children. You have to be, ready. So, Daddy, how did you ensure, or did you have that conversation with us, all of us, and ensuring that unity prevailed?
Right. That is one of the tough experiences that one would expect. But in the discussion, we did not emphasize that now this, you should behave like this. We let it naturally to evolve. Because once you put like rules or something, it may not. Certainly, the house was small, was not big enough for everyone. And people already had like their corners. They had their territories. And of course, when you bring in other people, there's in a sense in which someone's territory is being invaded. So we let it naturally to evolve, and leadership evolved within them. Of course, others were protecting their areas. But naturally, when they came together, we had to introduce even decker beds. And we found them discuss themselves who should be up and who should be down. That one, they managed well. For example, the boys' room, the girls' room. That's people managed within their situation. So we didn't sit and say, now do this, don't do this. It naturally evolved as we did a lot of activities. She likes a lot of board games. And through those board games, kind of learning together and coming together, the unity was evolving also. Sharing, each one participating in activity that they enjoy. There are those who love cooking, there are those who love doing a certain other activities. So leadership started evolving, although of course, the boy who was there, the big boy, felt like my territory is invaded, you know. And the big girl also was saying, but I'm the oldest, you know. So there was a little bit of conflict, but we tried to manage it by talking to each of the concerned people so that they appreciate each other, that each person has value is added to their family. Having been on one roof was a good thing. So everyone appreciated that actually this is something we work towards solving. When there is a problem, we solve it together. Yeah. So that was the way we tried to manage. But one of them was through celebrating birthdays so that they come together, going out together. I remember having road trips together in Queen Elizabeth and other places, so that there's that kind of bonding. Those activities were bonding us together. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she has something to add.
I think we also purposefully prayed together every day, every evening as we go to bed, and we took different turns in praying. And also at table, when we're going to have our meals, we really try to pray together and let everybody take leadership in that. So everything we're doing as one. And somehow at some stage it looked like we had, like what people do when they have twins. If they go to buy a jacket, they buy 2 jackets. When they go to buy a phone, they buy 5 phones. So this is what we started knowing in our heads, that whatever we are planning for the 6, so that they feel that they are one. They are one, and we care for them as a family. Yes. Okay. So
actually, I remember that when each one of you had to get a phone, she went to MTN using her administration experience and the HR. She got all the numbers lined up of MTN according to age, you know, something in 21, then 22, 23, 24, like that. It was so amazing, you know. Although some of you have now walked out way to Airtel and all, you no longer use those lines.
They stole our phones and we moved on. Anyway, so it all seems rosy as you're painting it right now, you know, but we know that step parenting comes with challenges. And we want to just be vulnerable and, you know, share, because there are many people who are going through blended families and they are struggling, especially with having stepmoms, having stepdads. So what challenges did you face in there? I remember clearly when you guys had just gotten married, we used to call mommy auntie, and they used to call you uncle. So I don't even remember how the switch happened. But anyway, what are the challenges that you faced with parenting children that are not ordinarily yours, or new children in the home and things like that?
Okay, challenges, there are several, but key we can share now is in line with in the parenting styles. Me, I grew up, and the only way that was helpful was Chiboko. So you know how I used to do the job, and I had a stick somewhere in the corner. But for her, she had never touched a stick. So I was wondering how this is going to happen when others have never been beaten, others were enjoying the beating. So that was an area that I had to improve. And I prayed to God to help me to change, and it took time to change so that I don't bring in that the style that is going to devastate the new children who had come in the family. While the other ones maybe were used, but of course they're not enjoying it. But that was one of the areas I had to adjust. Serious adjustment. And graciously, God helped me and I changed. That was one. Another one was sibling competition, conflicts, resolving those conflicts. You very well know that you are different children, you have different ways of doing things. You remember you were sharing one bathroom,
Yeah, it was tough.
Sharing one bathroom was not easy. So it was good that you had that experience so that when you go to your own houses now with each bedroom with its own bathroom, is easier to manage. So that was an area that we had to intervene and help talk to people in terms of cleanliness and all that. Time management. I mean, if you are going for a meeting somewhere or for going to class, one has to wake up much earlier to make sure you're in the bathroom earlier and make sure you cut out and help and create time for others. So that conflict within the siblings was another area of challenge that we had to manage. Yeah. Then the other one, of course, she has a lineup of relatives, as she has said. She had to talk to them about it. I had also another line of relatives I had to talk about. Yeah. So bring all those people to appreciate that this is now a new family. Managing that process. We do some, in the projects we do what? Process management. So that process management was not easy to deal with. Finances went up. I mean, if you have a function on their side, it's good for me to also attend. It's good also for the children to be there. So I remember, in terms of those costs being higher in areas, for example, we had to make a road trip. Your mom was from Barara. I originate from Kanungu. She originates from Masaka. Mitiana. And then her husband, the father to her children was from Rukunjiri. So I remember we made a trip, Kampala, Masaka, Mbarara. Mitiana. Wait. Mbarara, meet your godparents, have a chat with them, balancing the boat basically to ensure that we remain relevant because they are our part of us. From there, we go to Kunjiri, meet the relatives of her children. Go to Kanungu also, connect with our mom. Then we went through Queen Elizabeth, had a good time in Mwea, good time in Fort Portal. We have a linkage, a connection in Fort Portal as well, because we buried your mom in Fort Portal. Then go to Mitiana. So all that is increased cost as a challenge that we went through. And we still go through those challenges. But finally, as you go through that, in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22, says the blessing of the Lord makes us rich and adds no sorrow to it. So even when that blessing has come, we know there's no sorrow in it. So we took it up very seriously, and God makes us able to go through those challenges. I remember when we changed the schools, run from here, I go to this school, VDs on the same day, I am running to Zambia, you are running to Busoga College Mwiri, you are running to Our Lady of Good Counsel. It was not easy, but God made us go through it successfully. Okay. We thank God for that.
Mommy, what are some of the challenges that you face? Because I feel, I'm feeling, I don't know if it's true, that as a woman, as a new mom, you would ordinarily face, especially more from external, then there is internal, then there is yourself, then the children also. What are the challenges you face? Because people always have a perception, stepmoms are horrible, so already we are trading like, I'm not sure. So what are those challenges?
I can't single out challenges one by one, but one of the things that I had to do when I got married, or what I told myself I had to do, was to first of all learn the children that I'm going to now parent, in addition to these two. And the young one was very little, so there was nothing much to learn about her. She was a baby starting to walk. But the older ones already had a personality. They had opinions over things and things like that. So it was my challenge to learn, and they are different. You are different from your siblings. They're different. Others very outgoing and spontaneous in the way they behave. Others analyze everything and every statement and every action. Yes. And then we had another one who was really carefree. Do this, like that. So I had to learn the different personalities that we had, and also know how to handle the different personalities. So because of that, I didn't get many challenges. I didn't get really many challenges with these children that I was starting to parent. But as usual, all children, as they join teenage, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But lucky enough, these children were not that difficult.
Are you sure?
No, you are not difficult to manage. One, because we had the Christ that we know in the family. That was one of the things I think that helped to manage the teenagers. Together with even the ones that I came with were also teenagers. People you can, for example, say these people need a pair of shoes, then you buy the shoe and they look at the shoe and they don't like the shoe, and you don't know what to do with that shoe. And then again it goes into the finances and things like that. And then in terms of behavior, they were good, well-behaved children. But we kept talking. He talks, and then he keeps talking about the wrong things that they were doing, or the right things, and making better the ones that are right, and the ones that are wrong, as he said, there was a little bit of punishment. But for me, I would talk little, and maybe myself, there's a way I keep quiet when something is going wrong. But I think also these children also had a task to learn about how I do things, so they also learned how to work with me. So we didn't find a lot of challenges bringing up these teenagers. The challenges that he has mentioned that are related to the number of people that you are handling, as opposed to 1 or 2 or 3, it was real. It was real, even in terms of budgeting the food that you're going to eat, or if you are going. Remember when we had challenges going to church, in a small car, in a small car. Then we had to change a car to a bigger car and be able to go to church in time. At some stage we said, okay, now maybe we should break the afternoon service and then morning service and things like that. But really, I can say there were big challenges. Most of them were around managing at home. At home, yes. Okay. And instilling the right values. Yeah. Yes.
And maybe if you talk about more, you touched a little on discipline, I remember, what I can remember is, like you've mentioned, our discipline style, one of the discipline styles was Chiboko, and then Mommy's was not
just the eye.
Yeah, that was not there. So you find, for example, maybe sharing my experience, you find that we've done something, and like, let's say we've done something. And now you are going to chapa me. But now you cannot chapa
me.
Chapa, let's say, her child, And did you have any bedroom talk in terms of now, because you couldn't do it in front of us? How was that discussion like? Because for us, we felt it and we knew, that daddy cannot beat who? This one. Hey, we knew then, you feel like there's that form of, not fair. Sometimes you feel like it's not fair, and like I always tell people, I always advocate that a husband, his first, the order is God, husband, wife, children. And now it begins to become tricky now when this is a second wife, because you're feeling like your father should take your side, and yet ordinarily in the institution, it should be wife first, So how did you navigate that? Because as children, we would also put some sort of pressure of, but daddy, and yet he has to also defend his wife. So can you tell us more about that?
Before he tells you, first of all, is that he was able to discipline all of you. All of you, if he was to spank. Yes, he was. So my style of doing it was also different, but I would be able to do it to all of you. Yeah. But even if I didn't spank, for example, I'll just take an example of a laundry basket. If I felt you're doing it wrong, and I've talked about it once, twice, thrice, I remove the laundry basket. Then I expected you the children, all of you to think, why was it removed? Maybe the clothes are not washed. And then they will pick it and go and wash the clothes. Or before doing so, they are not happy. Yeah. Why has someone, things like that. But at the end of the day, it would be known that we really have to wash our clothes in time. Yes. We can.
I think on my side it was not a big problem, because I remember making a round of beating all of you. So there was no, when there is a reason, when there was a reason to do it, it was done. But of course, sometimes you have to consult and say, how would you deal with some of these situations? Some advice. No consultations are usually good, because you can make a big mistake, a reversible mistake. So consultations are normal, and I would encourage anyone to do consultation so that you don't make a reversible mistake.
Don't provoke wrath.
Yes.
In the children.
Exactly.
Okay, so knowing what you know now, because after we have gone this far, you always look back and say, but here I made this mistake, I made this mistake. What mistakes did you make in this whole blended situation? Or what do you think you could have done better, knowing what you know now? Maybe Daddy, we can start with you.
Okay. Making a mistake is human. And the only path that we take is learn from it and help others. As I told you, I help many people in counseling and also in business. So when mistakes are made, the first step is to appreciate that we are human. We shouldn't go for suicide. So one mistake that I made, which I would advise anyone who may be going through or have had some misfortune, has lost his wife or her husband, one of the things you need to do is to plan better. I emotionally rushed without preparing some basic things. I remember Bishop Zach Nirinji had advised me that it's good that you get your wife into a new home, not bring the new wife in the old home. First of all, there are so many things, attachments related with it. The children would say, this is our home, she has invaded us, and yet there are certain things people remember. Memories. So, to the gentlemen there, I would advise seriously to plan that if you are getting a second chance in marriage, do your best, even if you are renting. Let's start from a new place.
From scratch.
Start from a neutral place. So no one says, this is my home. Start from a neutral place. That would be helpful. And because you may start from the original home where you were, you may even go in the same bedroom. You may not even have money to start from the same bed. That's not very nice. So start from a neutral place, and the children will appreciate and they will bond better if we have children from both sides. That's very critical for me. Number two is that pray seriously about it so that God enables you go through that. Because He's our provider. He can or He's able to help you overcome those financial challenges and all that because you've trusted Him. Yeah, one may think, I think same house is okay, no problem. No, it may not be, especially on the lady's side, when the lady is coming. If it is a man also going to get a new spouse, but in the house of the wife, it also doesn't make sense. Our culture, our African tradition and all that. But my situation was that we remained in the same place I was, but thank God now we are in a neutral place. But it was done after some years. And we thought maybe should have been done better. Okay. So that's my area, that we need to advise people to do differently. The second part is take time to pray to give you the right person. The one that really God has provided. You know, in Psalm 23, it says, God is my shepherd. He will provide. He will carry you through tough situations. But you've trusted him to do that. And I thank God that I trusted him and he provided the right person. So in all that, God will enable the situation to be calmed down and you will succeed. 17 years down the road, and the children are calling me daddy, you're also calling her mommy, is a great achievement, and we thank God for that.
Yeah. Amazing. Mommy, just to piggyback on what you said, you know, the whole coming into this home that is not yours, you know, what was your experience like before we go into that? What did you think about that? How did it make you feel? And then after we shall go to the mistakes.
It was not that comfortable. It was not comfortable actually at all. Remember, I was coming from my own home as a woman. At that time, I was independent with my 2 children. So coming to someone else's home, I knew I was getting married there, but like he mentioned a little bit, you feel uncomfortable. For example, at the time when I came in, we had pictures of real memory that I could also look at every day, and I'm like, Within the first few weeks were not tough. Very comfortable because I knew these were very dear memories to everybody in the house. I wasn't sure of how to handle with it. So it was not comfortable, if that's the question. It was not very comfortable, but I had already made up my mind. I am coming to this marriage, and this is what is lined up for us. So all we had to do is to manage the little things that came up.
And to make it work.
And
like
make
we're
it
coming
work.
into this marriage and it's going to work.
Exactly. That was the attitude.
Okay.
Yes.
And then on your end, are there some mistakes you think you made, maybe with the parenting or in the situation that you think knowing now you're like, I could have done this better?
Really, okay, I can say one thing that I could have done better, like we mentioned a little bit, when you're getting into this marriage, you have to invest time in the relationship between you and your spouse, the one that you're going to have. Is it courting? What's it, dating or something like that? I think because of the busy schedules and things we are doing, and and being the chiga in us, we put the point forward. We met and
I want to marry you.
Exactly. So the discussion was, that's what we have on table. Straight.
No problem.
So this think about it later, blah blah blah. It was really like short time, but I think we didn't invest a lot of time for us as a couple. Now, when you invest time as a couple, it's very easy for you to bounce back to each other when you find any challenge in that marriage. So when you don't, you when you find any small challenge, it can actually throw you off.
Yes.
And you get derailed because you have not developed
invested the time.
Where to bounce. So in that way, it means that where I found little challenges, I had to manage, and yes, with the time, go to my spouse for any challenges that I found. So that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning. And I didn't foresee.
And because I can't even imagine, because you see, as newlyweds, like if it's just the first time, you're dealing with each other, like you're trying to bond. But now you're coming into a second marriage, already there is a lot going on, that now you're trying to manage many people, and then you forget yourself. The main people who have come together, you don't have that time or that luxury because you're dealing with a Ate, what are relatives going to say?
Uh-huh.
Ate, now the children, are they going to bond? What do we do? The home, Ate, I'm in this home. Like, there is a lot going on that now you forget to manage. You guys need another honeymoon.
Exactly.
Aww.
So, but now that the children
have gone,
now it's us.
We can bond.
Now you can bond now. You need to take you guys to some honeymoon and you first do again.
Thank you.
You know? Yeah. So, okay. So, if there's anything you'd love to tell a lady who wants to get married to someone else who has children, apart from that, are there any key things you want them to have in mind, to remember, to re-echo so that they do not forget? Because sometimes these things look good on paper, these things look good in theory. Yeah, I'm getting married again, but it's actually tough, for you, for the children involved and everyone. How would you tell them to deal with it? Any key advice that
Just
also
give
you
you
for them?
one key thing. I always say that a family is usually by blood relationship, but this blended family is not necessarily blood relationship. It's a relationship that should be built on love. So one thing I would tell the ladies out there who are thinking of taking another chance in marriage, the main thing is love. That lady who is planning to get married again should actually come with an attitude like, I'm going to do what I would have done for my children is what you're going to do for these children you're finding there. So once you have that well laid out and it is working well, life will be good in this blended family. So just put in your mind that I'm going to do what I would have done for my children. It is another ministry. It is another ministry. It is not really something that you just pick off a tree. It is that.
And I like what you've said. I know we're concluding, but you've talked about these other children. Yeah, people say that it's hard to love children that are not yours. Now, okay, for a mother, it may be tougher, but we have a nurturing instinct.
Yes.
I will come to daddy because I don't know if fathers, it may not be but it may not be as much, But like, when that statement comes to mind, would you say it's true? Is it harder? Is it impossible to love them the same? I don't know. What do you have to say?
It may be harder because there are things that may happen that a child might do and you feel derailed from loving them.
You're like,
but as I said, the attitude you come with is, I'm going to do this. You're not doing it for yourself, actually.
Yeah.
You're doing it maybe for God. It is not easy, but it is possible and it is doable. It is doable, and out of doing that, you'll actually find more peace in your heart. I mean, you can love somebody else you have found on the street. Then what about the one who is in your family? In your home, your family now. Yes. So it is not easy, but it is doable.
And also, what would you tell to stepmoms out there? Yes, you've said us who are a bit okay. I'm not so sure, but you find that the stepmothers out there who are dealing with very problematic children, they refuse to accept them completely. They are making things even harder because children do that sometimes. What would you tell them?
Well, the first thing that one needs to do is to go on your knees, to pray, because some of these things you cannot manage on your own. But also look into yourself and continue with the love. I don't remember the verse, but somewhere love will break all other things.
Cover all the multitude of sin.
And other, with love, many of the things that you see as a problem will be broken. So continue what you have to do on your part, and then the rest will fall in place. And if it doesn't, you don't lose anything by continuing with what you have to do from your side. Love them despite the fact that they have so many things and they're doing wrong.
Because may I like to say, as the parent, you know better. You're older. So sometimes, from what I hear from people, now the stepmoms now begin to, as if compete now, fight with the children. Like, you should know better. You know they are children, they don't know, you're wiser. So do better. For you,
Yeah.
continue to do better,
Exactly.
even if it's hard, you
Yeah.
know, however much it's hard. But I love that. Okay, Daddy,
Mhm.
we are now back to you.
What is
now,
it?
I know you were listening to the jazz, but you have forgotten the question. What would you tell a man out there who is thinking of remarrying, and especially if the person has other children? And then, is it easy to love children who are not your own? Because as moms, maybe nurturing, but for men, you know, the men always have that thing of hairy lineage. You know how they can be asking people for boys and what. So it's the same thing, like my lineage. Is that one mine? How would you? And what would you have to say about that? Is it true, and how did you deal?
First of all, me as Philemon, I love children, whether they are my own or others. I have no problem.
Okay.
But certainly, it is important for anyone who is entering into this kind of a marriage of blended family. Jesus was from a blended family. And remember, when he was going at the cross, guess whom he handed over? The mom, John.
Yeah.
So it's good to come with the right attitude, ready to take care of the children, whether you are biological or non-biological. Okay? I'm from an NGO background, so helping everyone is a good thing. You never know what comes out. You never know. I have interacted with the families. First of all, I was brought up in a family also with the other children. Then at some stage, I went to stay with another family. Guess what? In that family I was staying, somewhere in Rujeo, in Kanunga as well, that this man was always saying that the children he has helped have come out better than his own children. You know? And that was an old man talking. In other words, keep doing good things to everyone, because we don't know who will come out to help even others. Okay? So come with the right attitude. That's number one. Number two, ask God to enable you, to give you the grace. Be obedient to his command. Because God's command, if you don't obey, you mess up. You know? Just take God's command. Obedience is very important. To listen to him, and then he guides in every... because it's not an easy thing to look at some children. Even your own. The one who is your biological children can be a problem. Yeah? But you may find someone who is not your biological children, more obedient and ready to cooperate more than your child. Because your child is taking, this is my dad, you know, take things for granted. But it's important to have the grace for all. And God will give us the right ability and the grace to manage the situation. So anyone going to it, pray that God guides and enables you. He provides the resources, because a struggling father financially, he will continue to struggle, and his anger will even rise when there is no money and yet someone is misbehaving or someone is wasting some resources.
Yeah.
So that's the grace we need in that. But finally, as I said, plan well so that you bring your new wife in a new neutral place. The family should be started from a neutral place. This is an emphasis. It's very critical and important. However good that home may be, you rather put a tenant and move to another place and rebuild afresh. That's my final conclusion on that.
Amazing, amazing. And
One thing.
yes, please.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add is that people should not fear to seek for help. If one is stuck in the middle of all that, it would be good to seek some sort of therapy. You know, talk to a friend, go for counseling, you know, something like that. Just help, because you don't have to run insane if you're handling a difficult situation in a blended family. Yes.
Yeah.
There are people out there to help. We can help.
And at Divine Elevation, we provide that service of helping those who are struggling. We have not written the books, but we can talk to people and add value to their lives.
Yes, amazing, amazing. Guys, thank you for being here, Daddy and Mommy. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I hope this has helped someone out there. Let us know, if you come from a blended family, what are some of the challenges you faced and how did you maneuver them? Let us know in the comment section. Be sure to like and subscribe so that this video can reach so many other people who will be helped and impacted. My name is Lisa Kusima. As always, I'm here
to inspire.
After 4 years of creating content, I'm excited to launch my website. I've been creating content on marriage, dating, womanhood, motherhood, and everything family that has impacted lots of lives. I've also been able to create digital products that have helped you with managing your house helps, breakfast recipes, helping with your marriages, creating content, right, and so much more. And I'm excited to announce that I'm bringing you the ultimate Christian dating guide. You guys have been saying that the dating streets are ghetto and you're frustrated, with dating the wrong people, things don't work out. I am here to help prepare you for the dating journey. Even when you're on the dating journey, I want to make it easier so that you can date purposefully and hopefully find the one. Because when we date wrong, we marry wrong. And we all know where that leads. So, check out my website www.lisakusima.com and you'll get access to all my digital products, including the ultimate Christian dating guide. I am here for you. I can't believe we actually have a website. Yay! So please run while the offer lasts. It's 10% off everything. Try it today.